The Proteus V2 project is wired with 100% off-the-shelf cables and connectors. As you can clearly see, as we open up this line diagram, the orientation in the zoom was left as it last was, i.e. zoomed in. If you don't like this preference can be changed in the new interface configuration preference settings to zoom to fit when opening drawings. This means that every drawing you open will open zoom to fit the whole page. As mentioned earlier, this project is wired with 100% off-the-shelf cables and connectors. All these are fully defined inside my electrical project library. How did these all get there? Using the new Excel import tool and template, I can swiftly bring in these components into electrical fully defined. Let's generate a new connector template. The properties in each column correspond exactly to what you're used to, and the template clearly indicates what is mandatory. There is even data validation for existing values in your library. These values update with subsequent exports of the template. As your library grows and you have new standard values, manufacturer parts can be defined, including the circuits and terminals. Note the use of different separators for both circuits and terminals within those circuits. With this import tool, you can quickly add your exact content with all possible details to the library. The Excel import extends to cables as well, and I can define them completely, including the cable cores. As you can see, I have brought some cables in using the Excel import method. We need a lot of cables for this machine, so it is a good thing cable management and properties have been enhanced for a better user experience. Like this fused power plug AC1. In the cable properties, the mark route has been added. When you add this cable to a project from now on, this will be PWR. Also note, cable characteristics are separated from the conductor defaults, reducing confusion as to which properties pertain to the entire cable versus individual conductors. In this cable, the cable cores are defined fully using the Excel import. Next, a cable shortcut menu. Properties, but also go to drawing. From a cable jumps to where the cable is located, normally in a line diagram. Go to drawing from a cable core, jumps to a scheme where the cable core starts. Go to browser, shows the origin component of the cable core in the tree. Next, from the cable manager, you can now delete a cable even if it is used in a schematic or line diagram. You can select preview before you delete to double check it's the right one. The wires associated with the cable cores are disassociated when the cable is deleted. Let's add a new 2-conductor power cable. Remember the mark route we defined a minute ago, PWR. A very useful filter for browsing cables in your library. Let's hook up these cores. Notice the PWR mark. If I wanted to get more sophisticated in my naming, I can use the new variables that have been added to the cable mark formulas, such as position variables, origin and destination variables. If we change the cable mark formula to the origin and destination component, this can help us save time by making it easier to identify which component a certain cable is attached to by its mark. Notice the AC1 component and how the representations of the manufacturer part are displayed in the component tree has been restructured for simplicity and organization. Under each component, there is one new node for each manufacturer part associated to the component, plus an intermediate node for each symbol representing that part. For AC1, we have a representation on the line diagram, the schematic, and the flattened harness drawing. That's right, this project drawing from SOLIDWORKS 3D is now fully intelligent. In SOLIDWORKS Electrical 2025, project drawings that are made in the 3D side of SOLIDWORKS now have fully linked blocks for each component These blocks link footprints with the corresponding components. This even flows through to the PDF export. Alright, the project drawings are looking good. Let's now do some designing. One task for today is to add a splice to extend my ground loop directly to the chassis. This means I will have to update the 2D design, 3D routes, and flatten the harness drawing. Let's start by finishing the schematic representation, extending the ground circuit to the chassis via ring terminals. Over in the 3D side of things, I need to associate the new splice component. The splice component is placed right on top of my EW path sketch, which is important as we shall see in a moment when I reroute the harness. In SOLIDWORKS 2025, Flatten Route now prevents the creation of loops when there is a splice directly on top of the path. SOLIDWORKS now uses existing sketch segments passing through the splice component instead of adding new sketch segments for the unspliced wires, avoiding the creation of loops at the splice component. The Flatten Route tool also offers improved support for complex and multi-circuit splices. For example, identifying the junction points in loop segments and moving them to the flattened plane, and directing the fanouts away from the root segment rather than integrating them into the root segment. The editing of flattened routes has been improved, and you can try out the interface for making these fine adjustments to the flattened route. Even with significant changes to the harness, the drawing updates better than ever. There have been continuing efforts to enhance quality and consistency while working with flattened routes. 3D route changes such as deleting or adding segments, modifying segment length, adding or deleting connectors or wires should all properly update the flattened route and drawing without issue. There have also been updates to the flattened drawings to provide cleaner output and improved workflows. You can see in the Show and Hide Flatten Route items there is a new option to create an automatic leader line for each connector table. A nice visual link, especially in a busy drawing. You can use these boxes to insert tables that were removed or not added. Connector balloons now display quantity similar to wire balloons. There is a new option to show and hide in the form board frame. There's better logic for placement of connector tables. They are now placed outside of the drawing view and do not overlap each other. If you add a new column to a connector table, SOLIDWORKS now asks if you would like to apply these changes to the other tables. This also applies to any formatting changes to the header. Speaking of tables, I think this component property is incorrect. In 2025, I don't have to be reliant on the 2D user to make the changes to the manufacturer's properties. I can run the update or replace data command from the 3D side. Let's make a few changes to propagate them to the project. Any drawings from SOLIDWORKS, like this form board flattened harness drawing, are automatically updated in the electrical project whenever I save the drawing. This is thanks to the new dynamic link between SOLIDWORKS and the project drawings. Previously, if you made any changes to the SOLIDWORKS drawing, you had to click on the Create Project Drawing button again to replace the existing project drawing. As you can see, the workflow flexibility in Electrical 2025 between 3D and 2D is better than ever. Since the project drawing is now intelligent blocks, you can easily organize and refine the 3D drawing from within electrical schematics. Furthermore, there is a new Annotate tab with commands relevant to this task. From this tab, you can make changes to the 2D drawings, from 3D and flattened routing documents. Save time editing flattened harnesses and control panel drawings, since there is no need to go back to the 3D source drawing. It's a really nice 2D and 3D fluid workflow we have in Electrical Professional 2025. Our design changes so far look good. I would like to take one more step before we generate our revised PDF. I will tidy up my document numbering. In 2025, there is a new option in the project configuration for marking the drawings by folder. Since I like to use folders, this web numbering fits my style better. Let's apply that formula and renumber the document. We were able to accomplish a lot of the detailed electrical design tasks today quickly and accurately with SOLIDWORKS Electrical 2025. For the second demo, we are going to highlight the improvements to terminal blocks and terminal drawings. Here I have a schematic with multiple connection points. This could be for the same circuit or multiple level, multiple circuit terminals. The distributed terminal capability lets you associate symbols with specific circuits and pins, facilitating the representation of more complex terminal configurations. We have introduced an intuitive interface allowing for dynamic circuits and pin selection, ensuring accurate symbol-to-terminal mapping for enhanced design precision. In a terminal strip drawing, Electrical 2025 introduces more complete wire destination details. In this example, we want to show destination components for the wires and cables. There is improved display for multiple wires heading to the same component. This provides better visibility and addresses user requests for improved information. Thank you for watching.